We start, though, in Italy, where once again, Juventus will be champions. For any sort of hope of there being some sort of excitement for the last 4 games, we need Lazio to get a result today. However, it was Juve and Cristiano Ronaldo who beat them by 2-1. Julien, Laurent and Gab Marcotti joining me. Gab, that's it. Done and dusted.
Well, I'll tell you who doesn't think so, Dan, and that's Cristiano Ronaldo, because he came out after the game and said, yeah, great win, but, it's only 8 points. There's 4 games to go. We can't afford to relax now. Look, obviously, he's engaging in athlete speak, and maybe if you look really, really closely, you could see his nose getting a little bit longer. But I have to say, that attitude, that not letting up attitude, I think this is what Juve needed. And I think maybe if they'd had that a little bit earlier, they wouldn't have turned this into sort of this very painful ending to the season, because obviously it's been a very, very bumpy ride since the restart.
It's incredible, Jules, because Cristiano Ronaldo does take up so many column inches and we spend so much time talking about him. Yet you look at the stats, 30 goals in 30 games this season.
Yeah, pretty incredible. 50 Serie A goals now in 61 games. No one has reached 50 quicker than Cristiano. He's scored 50 goals or more now in Serie A, in La Liga, in the Premier League as well. No one has ever done that before him. So it's pretty incredible on the year where you will have no Ballon d'Or, as we will mention later. He's still having one of those years. He's 35 years old. Let's not forget that. And at that age, to keep having those numbers, to keep being decisive. Okay, there's 12 penalties, and I think that's 41% of the goals he scored, or just under. But you still have to score them, and it's still everything else that he does. And okay, the second goal tonight was a tap-in, but he's at the right time, at the right place once again. And he's just incredible in terms of attitude and determination and that sense and that eye for goal that he will never lose.
40% of his goals, though, penalties. Gab, of course, all the Messi fans will be tweeting in, Penaldo, Penaldo. You've got to score them.
And look, I mean, if we want to go and play this, funny enough, I did this before the game. If you want to look at league goals and make a comparison there, then Messi had 20 league goals and Ronaldo had 18 league goals. But there's, I'm talking from open play here, but there's 4 games to go. So, look, I wish you could just knock all this nonsense, just knock it all away, just ignore it. Tonight, actually, I thought was all about Paulo Dybala, and has been in the last couple of games. He was Juve's best player. Ronaldo was right there for the tap-in. He was there disturbing the defender, Luis Felipe, causing the turnover, and then chasing all the way and getting the ball back from Dybala to tap it in. You want to take his penalties away? Fine, let's do that. So the guy scores 18 goals from open play at the age of 35. I think that's still pretty darn special.
Since the comeback, Jules, I feel like we have been most complimentary about Dybala throughout this all. It seems strange that he wasn't meant to start this game, and yet, as Gab mentioned, came in and put in a man of the match performance because of that injury to Higuain pre-kickoff.
Yes, which is strange, and again, in the last game as well, he didn't start and Higuain started, and it felt weird that he was put on the bench when clearly, as you said, he's been the best player since the restart, and not just the best player in terms of, like the one who has the best performance or scores goal or whatever, but also so instrumental in everything they were doing. So every time there's a midfielder with the ball, they look up and try to find Dybala between the lines, in space, in a little pocket, and then he will do something magic. And I just think he's become so important for that team, maybe more important than anyone else, apart from maybe Chesney, who again I thought tonight was very good with that save towards the end on that free kick in the top corner. But Dybala has been wonderful in that sort of false number 9 role, where then that frees Cristiano, that frees Douglas Costa on the other side as well, and clearly that front three, or at least Ronaldo and Dybala, and then whoever else plays on the right hand side, seems to work really well. But certainly for Cristiano to have Dybala in that kind of form and playing in that role has helped massively.
We know that Dybala, of course, was shopped around 12 months ago, Gab. Is he trusted enough by Sarri to stay?
Well, this is the thing, right? And like I wrote about this last week, that the reason Juve, it's so painful now at the end of the season, part of it has to do with Sarri and the cultural fit, but a lot of it has to do with simply poor planning. So they brought in Cristiano and they're like, yay, and then now let's get the delay. Now we got to go and pay for these guys. And let's not forget where Juve were and where Sarri was 12 months ago. They were in a situation where they had 3 strikers, all of them earning a ton of money, Mandzukic, Dybala, and Higuain, and they were desperately trying to sell them. And they would have sold Dybala if they could, until Dybala went and, he said, no, I don't want to go. I want to fight for my place. He kind of convinced Sarri that it was the right thing to do. Juve didn't push him out the door. They did have opportunities. They did have offers from other clubs. And, in the end, I think it's a credit to Dybala and to Sarri, because I'll tell you what, Dan, Cristiano is not going to be playing center forward effectively at this stage. We saw that in those few games when they moved him there. He needs somebody to play through the middle. Higuain, I don't think you can rely on week in, week out with his injuries and, with some of the issues that he's facing. And so really Dybala is the answer. Dybala accepted that role and was frankly devastating in it. And, he's played in a similar role earlier in his career before joining Juve, and he's kind of gone back to that. And he's a real value added to this team.
Has Sarri got enough money in the bank, Gab, that no matter what happens in the Champions League next month, he will be coach for the start of next season?
So Fabio Paratici, the Juventus' director of football, came out there, was very categorical about it. And there's 2 ways you can read it. He came out and he said, no, he's going to be back next season. And then he said, at this stage of last year, there were rumors about Allegri as well. Well, yeah, and then at this stage of last year, then eventually Allegri left. So you could read it that way if you're negative. I think they're going to see what happens in the Champions League. They're going to see what the plan is, what they're doing in terms of budgets, in terms of the market for next season. Obviously, Kulusevski is coming in to freshen up the squad. They're going to see an Artur, of course, from Barcelona. It feels like the squad is being built for Sarri, but I think equally, they can't hide the fact of what's been going on in the last couple months. And I don't know if it's a bad exit from the Champions League, either against Lyon or in the next round. I think they could still revisit this.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.